Well, folks, I have to admit that I'm a little bit, you know, shocked by what I saw today. Um, but I'm going to just give you a little bit of a rundown of what I posted earlier. So today's Wednesday report on the war update is that Malaysia's Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has said that Israeli vessels are prohibited from docking or entering in Malaysian territorial waters. And Indonesia's President Widodo is currently awaiting Egyptian clearance for the Indonesian military hospital ship Gaza consignments of humanitarian aid. The chief of staff of the Iranian armed forces says that they provide advisory and intellectual assistance to the Yemeni army and will stand with them. And of course, we also have Yemen, who is continuing with their attacks on the United States anti Houthi force, which you would know by now, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Egypt, Jordan, and some of the surrounding countries that actually matter. The top Arab countries have rejected that approach by the United States. Yemen's military chief has given orders to capture or sink any ships entering the Red Sea, which includes U.S. military vessels. And so far, through its activities, it has successfully blocked some of the major commercial shipping routes through the Red Sea. Of course, you know that that route accounts for 12% of the entire world's commercial traffic. And so it has a big impact on the global economy. And Somali pirates are also attacking vessels entering the Red Sea and who pass near Somali waters. Armed men are coming on board, taking people hostage, and hijacking vessels. Now, as you know, there's been a lot of talk in the Western media, of course, as to why Arab countries aren't taking in Palestinians. Saudi Arabia responded directly to that, where they rejected that demand for Arab states to take in Palestinians because they say they want to have no part whatsoever of any plot to steal Palestinian land and give it to occupiers. As you know, today, Lebanon, Hezbollah has been striking several Israeli military targets as the escalation of violence continues, and Israel has bombed several areas in Lebanon in response as well. The US military is concerned about the cost of their SM-2 missiles, which cost 2.1 million US dollars per missile, because those have been intercepting Yemeni drones with just $2,000. So to date, the US has intercepted about 39 Yemeni missiles, sorry, and the total spent has been around 81.9 million US dollars. So you can imagine why they are concerned. Now, as we speak, the UN Security Council is meeting once again because, as you know, they were supposed to vote on a ceasefire yesterday, but of course, that has been delayed because the United States um, is giving a bit of trouble because they really don't want to support a ceasefire, but they are receiving a lot of pressure from member states of the General Assembly and, of course, now the Security Council, because the UK is shifting their position to teeter towards a permanent ceasefire with, you know, with the Israel-Gaza genocide. Now, I wanted to show you guys something because I saw a report from Al Jazeera just moments ago, and this is what took place. I want you to look at, in full view, what is taking place at the level of international community. Israel is operating with impunity, defying, the West request to limit and stop civilian casualties. I want you to take a look at what I just witnessed on Al Jazeera.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh my God! Did you hear that?
Yes, we did.
Oh my God! Oh, that's the hospital. That's the hospital. That's the hospital. Oh my God! Are you guys hearing that?
Yes, we are. We are hearing that, Hani. Are you okay? Are you in a safe place to continue to talk to us?
Wait. No, Don.
Okay.
Oh my God. No. This is really bad. This is bad. Are you guys seeing this?
Yes, we are. We are seeing
This
that,
is right
Hani.
behind the hospital right now.
We are seeing that. It was a very loud explosion. Hani, are you okay to talk to us right now? Because if not, we can come back to you a little bit later. The important thing is that you stay safe. You and your team there stay safe.
Okay. Are you guys seeing? Yes, as you see, this is a huge, dark cloud of smoke. This is what we were expecting for 5 days. This drone did not leave the sky of this area, flying at a low level, and I think what it was marking a target of more residential homes. People now are rushing to the site just to see if there are people. I guess we're looking at a tragedy right now.
So this is an example of the kind of terror that is taking place at the moment in Gaza. Um, I also have another clip to show you because in direct response to the US coalition of 10 member states, um, you know, which excludes the top Arab states that I would have just mentioned. You would have known that yesterday I spoke about how some of the top Arab countries have rejected the anti Houthi force that has been established by the United States. And the countries in that anti Houthi force include Canada, France, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, Spain, United Kingdom, Seychelles, and Bahrain. Now, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Jordan, Qatar, and Egypt have all rejected this anti Houthi force by the United States. And the only Arab state to join the anti Houthi forces, Bahrain, which is, of course, a very small, low key player in the region. And of course, it's on the other side of the Red Sea. And so it's not very involved in the particular area that would have been ideal for the United States. Now, I'm not sure that you're aware, but a lot of the attacks are taking place at the Bab el Mandeb Strait, which is where you enter a lot of shipments, international shipments, enter from the Gulf of Aden to turn into Bab el Mandeb Strait and then go through the Red Sea to the Suez Canal, right? And that is how a lot of global transshipments get their stuff to Europe and onwards elsewhere. And because the Houthis have been, targeting this well-used strait, what it has done is it has not only impacted the Israeli economy by about $10 billion, but it's also having a 12% impact on global commercial traffic, right? So it's a significant impact on the global economy, and so it is within the interests of the West to ensure that that is back up and running. But this creation of the anti-Houthi force by the United States, what it has done is engendered even a greater clarion call, if you like, from the Yemenis who are now starting to mobilize their own citizens. And I will show you, for example, what took place just earlier. those of you who aren't aware, what you're watching is the Yemenis Houthis mobilizing their specific fighter brigade in the west of the Houthi. And just yesterday, they also had a parade to show their military preparedness.
أيضا صاروخ فالك وهو صاروخ باليستي أرض بحر، يليه أيضا صاروخ مندب واحد. ويمر الآن من أمام المنصة صاروخ مندب اثنين. والآن فيتقدم من أمام المنصة صاروخ سجيل، وهو صاروخ جديد يكشف عنه اليوم ولأول مرة، وهو صاروخ كروز مجنح مداه 180 كيلو متر، صاروخ عاصف وهو صاروخ باليستي أرض بحر. أول صاروخ قادر على الاستهداف بصريا وحراريا. اليوم تزيح القوات المسلحة وبفضل الله سبحانه وتعالى الستار عن صاروخ بحري جديد، وهو صاروخ صياد الذي يمر الآن من أمام المنصة، وهو كروز مجنح يصل مداه إلى 800 كيلو، يعمل بالوقود الصلب والسائل، طوله 6.
So just before I move on to the next topic, where we're going to speak about what took place today, I want to give you some figures. Now, this is figures that have been collated by the Euromed Human Rights Monitor Group that's operating in Gaza and taking a stock of the number of civilians killed and so on. According to the Euromed Human Rights Monitor report, it says that a total of 26,612 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza. This includes 10,305 children, 5,475 women, and 24,320 civilians. The total injuries include 52,390, of journalists killed, 93. Displaced individuals is 1.9 million. Completely destroyed homes, 63,920. Partially destroyed homes, 173,950. Damaged press headquarters, 163. Damaged schools, 296. Destroyed industrial facilities, 1,459. Damaged religious sites, 162 mosques and 2 churches. Targeted health staff, 473, of which 222 deaths and 251 injuries. Targeted health facilities, 131, including 23 hospitals, 56 clinics, and 51 ambulances. And so before I move on, I want to show you a clip that the IDF uploaded today, which shows them celebrating blowing up the residential homes of belonging to Palestinians. 50 homes in a block they blew up today. Let's have a look.
Okay, Dakar. 9, 8, 7, 6. 4, 3, 2, 1. שכונת סג'אעיה ז"ל, נחל עוז, בעזרת השם יהיה לכם איזה יופי. נוף לים! מדהים. 30 בתים. גדוד 749. איזה יופי. מנתקים אגב משכונת סג'איה.
Now, we've heard time and time again from, the United States that, of course, this is a war against Hamas, right? The militants and so on. But time and time again, the IDF proves that this is a genocide. Because here in this video, and I'm going to replay it, this IDF soldier who has the controls to blow up over 50 plus Palestinian homes, and I'll give you a better look at what took place, is saying that we're blowing this up so that the settlers can have a better view of the sea. And as you can see, that is the explosion. These are the lives of Palestinians going up in smoke on the heels of the United Nations Security Council voting potentially for ceasefire, on which we already know that the United States is going to attempt to veto it. The United States is of course becoming more and more isolated by the international community, the more and more they defend the indefensible. And Israel, time and time again, proves that they have no regard for human life and civilians, no regard for Palestinians whatsoever. And as you can see here, this is people. This are their homes. These are their lives going up in smoke. And I'm going to show you that video again, previous to this. And I want you to pay attention to
מכין את שכונת סג'איה לפיצוץ בעוד כדקה. תשע, 8, 7, 6. ארבע, 3, 2, 1. שכונת סג'איה ז"ל, נחל עוז, בעזרת השם יהיה לכם. איזה יופי. נוף לים. מדהים. 30 בתים, גדוד 749. איזה יופי. מנתקים אגב משכונת סג'איה.
So, folks, this is the reality of what is taking place in Gaza. It is a breach of international humanitarian law. And, just to show you how much disregard Israel has for the obligations under international law, they continue to do this even though they've been asked by both the United States and the UK to stop. But at the same time, I wonder whether the United States and indeed England offer a lot of platitudes because they're the ones providing the weaponry to do this type of damage, right? And so, I've found it quite difficult to, discuss these issues because more and more it just becomes more and more deplorable. And I don't even know where to start. Even beginning this video here to talk about what's taking place and to talk about the sheer savagery that is being perpetrated against the Palestinians by these thugs and hooligans, these people who have no mercy whatsoever for the humanity of the Palestinian people. Now, what happened on October 7th when Hamas, of course, infiltrated the borders was a deplorable, detestable, and disgusting thing. And so, we would have thought that Israel would respond in proportion to the attack. But then we started to hear whistleblowers from Israel saying, well, hold on. Netanyahu knew about this planned attack by Hamas a year prior. Not only did he know, IDF soldiers say that, weapons and so on the border were confiscated. Material was moved prior to that attack. And it took the IDF 8 hours to mobilize a response. And indeed, when they did mobilize a response, what did they do? They shelled their own buildings and communities in kibbutzim. They used a gunship to shoot at fleeing festival goers, of which many of them attest to. There is a video that I would have posted a few days ago where rescuers and IDF members speak to the fact that actually it was the IDF that shot their own citizens. And of course, along with the Hamas militants who crossed the border, who would have kidnapped and killed and so on people and took them back into to Gaza. Israel also contributed to that number, significant number. And a lot of the explosions and people being burnt beyond recognition was as a result of the shelling by Israeli IDF tanks, right? And just as people have been saying from the onset, that actually, Israel has had a wanton disregard for the civilian population. This indeed was proven when, of course, you saw the 3 Israeli hostages who were barebacked, right, who were carrying a makeshift flag. You can clearly see that they had, no weapons whatsoever. They were all shot and killed. And of course, in the beginning, the IDF said they couldn't see and so on. But other IDF members have since come forward to Haaretz newspaper, one of the #1 newspapers in Israel, to say, well, actually, that's not true, right? They were barebacked and they were carrying white flags, and they were still shot and killed. And so this lends credence to the fact that what a lot of Palestinians have been saying, that they've been being killed in cold blood. And so when you see scenes like this, which I'm going to replay, blowing up 50 residential homes belonging to Palestinians in Gaza, and then celebrating with the settlers who the international community have called terrorists, and then saying, you're doing this for the same settlers that you've armed to go and kill Palestinians, demonstrates your complicity to commit intentional war crimes against the Palestinian people. And I want to replay this video again so that there's no doubt whatsoever of the...
מכין את שכונת סג'איה לפיצוץ בעוד כדקה. 9, 8, 7, 6. ארבע, 3, 2, 1. שכונת סג'איה ז"ל, נחל עוז, בעזרת השם יהיה לכם. איזה יופי, נוף לים, מדהים. 30 בתים, גדוד 749. איזה יופי, מנתקים מגע משכונת סג'איה.
So is this about getting rid of Hamas, or is this about claiming the land? Because prior to Netanyahu actually deciding to go on an all-out genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza, and indeed now even the West Bank. But let's speak about Gaza for now. is that Gaza, it was determined by oil companies, has deposits of oil and natural gas worth in excess of $500 million, I believe it is, right? And the high quality deposits of energy. And now we see the IDF not only, dropping dumb bombs. Dumb bombs are what you would call bombs that you just drop indiscriminately. There's no precision whatsoever, and it is designed to cause maximum casualty with no regard for human life. And, could this be really an attempt to, having found that Gaza has quite a lot of natural resources that are worth quite a lot of money, could this really just be a thought to say, why should these people have that? Let's just go clean it up and create, a view to the sea, right? Because as you can hear in this video, and the Israeli prime minister's son, by the way, said, from the river to the sea, Israel is all you will see. These are the types of narratives that are genocidal. And indeed, when someone, of course, petitions for Netanyahu and his band of miscreants to be called before the International Criminal Court for war crimes, these and all these videos, of which there are many, will be critical evidence in that trial. Now, I want to show you again what unsettled me earlier when I was looking at the Al Jazeera report live.
Yes, sir. Oh my God! Did you hear that?
Yes, we did.
Oh my God! Oh, that's the hospital. That's the hospital. That's the hospital. Oh my God! Are you guys hearing that?
Yes, we are hearing that, Hani. Are you okay? Are you in a safe place to continue to talk to us?
Wait. No, Baba,
Okay.
Oh my God. No. This is really bad. This is bad. Are you guys seeing this?
Yes, we are seeing
This
that,
is right
Hani.
behind the hospital right now.
We are seeing that. It was a very loud explosion. Hani, are you okay to talk to us right now? Because if not, we can come back to you a little bit later. The important thing is that you stay safe. You and your team there stay safe.
Okay. Are you guys seeing? Yes, as you see, this is a huge, dark.
All right. So what I'm going to show you now is what's taking place. It just gives you a sort of a rundown of what is taking place with the Houthi rebels and so on in the Red Sea. So just take a look, and we're going to kind of wrap up with this at the end here. So, folks, just giving you a bit of a rundown of what's been taking place recently in terms of the, war that's happening in the Middle East right now, the impact that is having on global trade, regional security, and of course, the Middle East being as complex as it is being, is teetering towards a wider war with Western forces as a result of Israel's reckless behavior in the region, and genocide that's taking place. The Houthi rebels have said that so long as Israel continues its genocide in Gaza, they will make the Red Sea a graveyard for anyone who dares to enter. Now, this, of course, is not the kind of language or the kind of things that we are wanting to hear, but it's certainly demonstrable of the kind of things that's taking place, regionally. So it is something that is very stressful, to see the kind of devastation. I mean, I've seen things that I'm not going to post up on here, but literally, a lot of the idea of soldiers have been carrying out public assassinations. And so I saw video of people's heads being blown off, right? And these are things that are really, really tragic, right? And it really needs to stop. This level of violence as we go into the season that should really be all about family. We are having to contend with a season not just in Gaza, but also in the Congo and in other parts of the world where human life is up in flames, and we are showing a lack of humanity in many ways with our continued silence. So I think now is a time for us not to remain silent, but now is a time for us to be even more activated in speaking out against genocide, and speaking out against wrongdoing, in speaking out against gaslighting by the people that we have elected to represent us well on the world stage. And we do not want representatives who make excuses, right? And gaslight us when we call for justice. I'm so pleased with my friends, Jewish Voice for Peace, who have been mobilizing nonstop in identifying to the world that actually what is being perpetrated against the Palestinians is not in the name of Judaism, but rather it is in the name of Zionism. And Zionism is not Judaism. Zionism is anti-Semitism. And they've made that abundantly clear. And so Jews Muslims and Christians alike are holding hands to not just pray for Gaza, but to pray for peace and to pray for the downfall of these Zionist criminals who deserve to be thrown in jail because of their violence and inhumane savagery. It's all about death, destruction, and a lack of humanity for these people. And so let us stand tall in prayer and let us keep advocating for an end to this violence, for an immediate ceasefire, and for all those who take and sniff out innocent lives, whether it is the Hamas criminals who would have gone through the border with the assistance of Netanyahu, who, mind you, funded that, right, which was exposed by Haaretz newspaper, that actually the reason that Netanyahu was channeling money to Hamas, even though they are his adversaries, is because he wanted to undercut the two-state solution and undermine the negotiations that were once happening with the Palestinian Authority. And when they were getting ever closer, they funded the Hamas against the Palestinian Authority to create a fragmentation between the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, right? And as a result of that, what that meant is that, even though the Palestinian Authority was telling, the Israeli regime that, this group that you're funding is a lot more fundamentalist, they persisted anyway, because they knew in the long run that it would, Netanyahu anyway, knew in the long run that this fundamentalism would be beneficial to his overall policy, which is to make that entire place, both the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, all Israel. And Netanyahu has made himself very clear on numerous occasions. And so there's nothing to be contradicted here. But anywho, folks, right now the UN Security Council is taking place. There's currently a press conference as we speak. I'm just having a look really quickly to see if they are in the Security Council. I can see a press conference taking place at this time. Give me 2 minutes, folks, and let me have a look. I suppose we can shift over very, very briefly to the press conference and see what they are saying. Okay, well, they seem to have walked away from that press conference. Let's have a look. I'll still put it across and we'll have a look together to see what's going on. Yeah, I don't believe anything is happening at the moment. But if anything does take place, I will be sure to let you know. But this is a live view as we speak at the United Nations.
The OR also working 24 hours continuously. Sometimes we work like 24 hour and off 24 hour and another. We need more of medical supplies, like things like to deal with the bleedings, to deal with burn, to deal with fix like wires and bends. We need a lot of things for abdominal gauze, a lot of things for infection control, a lot of experts also to support us in managing of these cases. All child now facing something like PTSD and need psychological support. So the team here on the staff start to psychological support for this young lady, young child, and they use some eating therapy, some like toys for this child. She want to put an auto mask for this toy, and I think she hope to be a doctor in the future to treat another victims like the others treat them.
Today, those in power decided that the killing of children in Gaza would recommence. If you'll just allow me 1 minute to say what I'd prepared before these attacks started a few hours ago. This is what I was going to say. The humanitarian situation in Gaza is so perilous that anything other than sustained peace and emergency aid at a scale will mean catastrophe for the children of Gaza. I was then going to speak to the dire situation in health, in nutrition, in water, in sanitation, and how it threatens a disaster of unparalleled magnitude for children of Gaza, such as the enormity of need that, and because of the blocks on aid for so long here, and despite huge efforts this last week from WHO, UNRWA, the biggest agency, from UNICEF, all of the United Nations, the health, the nutrition, sanitation situation, it has been worsening by the day. Now, I was going to end by saying that a lasting ceasefire must be implemented. The alternative is unthinkable for people who are, as a Palestinian said to me, already living in a nightmare. Inaction, at its core, is an approval of the killing of children. But here we are. The bomb started just a few seconds after the ceasefire. Immediately, I went to Nasser Hospital. That's why I have this on. Of course, the children and women at Nasser Hospital do not have these. As we approached Nasser Hospital, there'd been a hit, a missile, a rocket, something. I'm not a military person, around 50 meters away. Important to note that Nasser is the largest functioning hospital in Gaza. Okay, now it's at around 200% capacity. Rob from WHO will give you granular and expertise in just a moment. But it's full. Children with the wounds of war are everywhere. Children with the wounds of war are still in corridors. Hundreds of women and children take refuge there. You walk out of ICU, there are families of 5 on a mattress for 2. This is the place they seek refuge from the cold. As we've learned from Shifa, nowhere is safe from the attacks. Now, I've been going to Nasser Hospital all week. I would go to see children, to see the brave and tireless Palestinian health workers, to talk to them, to listen to them. Part of what I would do is just play with children, to try and get that moment to see if I could ever so gently see a glimpse of childhood return. And it had started to happen. Fear most certainly now has returned. So have the wounded. As I was there, ambulances came, people ran with bloody bodies on stretchers. It is reckless to think more attacks on the people of Gaza will lead to anything other than carnage. There were 4 blasts nearby the hospital, very close, whilst I was there. There have been many more in the last 30 minutes. I finished by almost an appeal. It's what we've all been doing. Aid is an appeal, and then hoping in the corridors of power, those who have influence. Surely any conversation around Gaza, around the children of Gaza, has to begin with empathy, with compassion. It's deeply, deeply unsettling to hear how some have been able to overlook the tragic deaths of thousands and thousands of boys and girls in Gaza, and are now seemingly comfortable with the horrors, the attacks starting again. To accept the sacrifice of the children in Gaza is humanity giving up. This is our last chance. This is our last chance before we delve into yet again explaining why another entirely avoidable tragedy was not stopped, whilst no one sought to stop what is a war on children. Thank you.
I want to bring in James Elder. He's UNICEF's global spokesperson. He's joining us from Gaza. Just talk us through what you've seen in the hours since the ceasefire ended, James.